Duncan's big pitch when we joined the project was to really bring the same kind of balance to the screenplay and the movie that you experience as a player in the game. So actually feel comfortable rooting for both sides, whether it's orc or human, and there being an equal amount of good and bad on both sides, rather than the kind of more standard fantasy trope of good versus evil.
It's a first contact story, and it's a first contact about a group of beings, orcs, who are forced to flee where they're originally from and find a new home.
The first thing that really hit me when I spoke to Duncan about the project is that he wanted to be very clear that it wasn't a black and white story. It wasn't, the Alliance is good, the Horde is bad. This is their story, they're the bad guys. He really wanted to humanize the Horde and really humanize the orcs, and he wanted people to be able to identify with them.
The orcs kind of adhere to what I would say would be Native American beliefs of spirituality and shamanism and the very stereotype of that kind of, race. They're animal breeders and bound with honor and loyalty and trust and friendship. But at the same time, there is another breed of orc who are ruled by lust and anger and all the negative sides of humanity.
We're being transparent about the fact that it's starting at the beginning of the kind of Warcraft canon and focusing in on orcs versus humans. It's the beginning conflict of Warcraft.
Humans who are, the very grey areas, every single one of them, of who's good and who's evil and what is good and evil. And with the orcs, you kind of have a very straight line down the middle between evil, pure, unadulterated evil. And then on the other side of it, you have the Frost Wolves, which is Duratan, Orgrim, and their people, of those who haven't turned to the dark and the fell, who are kind of adhering to what is essentially morally the correct path.
You really have a story that involves heroes on both sides. No one's in the wrong here. It's just that this is a conflict that doesn't have an easy resolution.
It's a real conflict, and hopefully when people see it, they won't really know who to be rooting for.
Let's have good and evil on both sides, and it's sort of the fantasy version of Heat in that way.
Duncan really cares about character, and that's what is going to help separate Warcraft from a video game adaptation and actually being just a film that stands to be recognized in its own right.
We have a long way to go. There's a whole universe that could be created here, much in the way of Star Wars. We could go 8, 9, 10 films, and the stories would only ever get better.
The key is to make sure that it's a film and these are characters that you care about, and it's absolutely based in Blizzard lore, but at the same time it's got to work as a story and you've got to care about the characters. And I think people will do that.